Hey, you. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Where we take your source material and really get into the key takeaways.
Exactly. And today, we're looking at Robin Sharma's book, The 5 a.m. Club. Own Your Morning. Elevate Your Life. We got a great personal review of it. So our mission, really, is to unpack the core ideas. What makes his approach to growth different, especially for you listening, wanting to get that knowledge fast.
And let's be honest, the title, the 5 a.m. Club,
Yeah.
it makes you think, oh, okay, another book telling me to wake up painfully early.
Right. I think a lot of people have that reaction. The reviewer definitely did, admitted feeling skeptical at first.
But that's what's interesting here. That skepticism apparently turned into real appreciation.
Yeah, and that's what we're digging into. It's apparently much more than just, setting your alarm for 5 a.m. It's framed as being about self-mastery, daily discipline, building this powerful morning routine.
And the way Sharma presents it is a bit different, too. It's not like a textbook. He uses a story, a narrative. Like a billionaire mentor, a struggling entrepreneur, an artist, that sort of thing.
Exactly, guiding them through this transformation based on the 5 a.m. routine.
Which, as the review pointed out, could be great for some people, makes it more engaging, maybe. But others might just want the facts, get straight to the point.
Sure, it could feel a bit indirect if you prefer that style, but the reviewer felt the story actually helped the ideas land.
Okay, so what's the absolute core concept?
Well, it really boils down to this phrase, win the morning, win the day.
Simple enough.
The idea is that those early hours, like before the world really wakes up and starts demanding things from you, that time is incredibly valuable.
For what specifically? Just getting work done early?
Not just that, no. The review stressed it's about nurturing your mind, body, and soul, setting a foundation.
So it's less about just raw productivity and more about feeling centered, intentional.
Precisely. Building resilience for whatever the day throws at you. It's about grounding yourself first. Okay, that makes sense. So how does he suggest you actually use that time? The review mentioned something called the 20-20-20 formula. Said it was the heart of the routine.
Yeah, that's the practical bit. He breaks down that first hour from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. into 3 20-minute chunks.
Okay, let's break it down. First 20 minutes.
5:00 to 5:20 a.m. is move. And we're not talking a gentle yoga session here.
What then?
Intense exercise, something that gets you sweating, gets your heart rate up.
Right. And the review mentions specific benefits Sharma talks about, like boosting energy, cutting down cortisol.
Exactly. Reducing that stress hormone, releasing dopamine, serotonin, those brain chemicals that make you feel focused and good.
And there was that quote the reviewer included, sweat is miracle grow for your brain, something like that.
Yeah, linking it directly to activating the prefrontal cortex, basically waking up your brain's command center.
Okay, so that physical push primes your brain for better decisions, focus, all that. Makes sense. What's next? 5:43 to 5:40 a.m.
That block is reflect. This is the quieter part. Mindfulness, introspection.
So things like journaling, meditation.
Yep. Or prayer, visualization, even just sitting in silence. The goal is to connect with yourself, get clear before the day's chaos hits.
And the key idea there was clarity precedes mastery.
That's the one. You need that inner clarity to achieve outer results, essentially.
Move, reflect. What's the last 20 minutes? 5:4 to 6:00 a.m.
That's grow. This is dedicated learning time.
So reading books, listening to podcasts.
Educational ones, yeah. Or watching TED Talks. Anything that expands your knowledge helps you develop continuous improvement.
And the quote for this one, something about wishes versus systems.
Ordinary people have wishes, exceptional people have systems. So Sharma positions this whole 20-20-20 thing as a system for growth.
Got it. So the review really emphasized that it's not just waking up at 5 a.m. that matters.
Not at all. It's about being really intentional with what you do in that hour. The structure is key. That's the difference maker.
Makes sense. Structure brings purpose. Okay, so beyond that formula, the review pulled out some bigger themes from the book too, right? Like the importance of solitude.
Yeah, solitude and stillness. In today's world, constant notifications, noise everywhere. Sharma apparently calls solitude a superpower.
A superpower, how so?
Well, those early hours are naturally quieter, less distraction. It's a unique window for deep thinking, focused work, connecting with your purpose without interruption.
So creating that space deliberately, I can see that. What else?
Another interesting one was spirituality meets strategy. It's not all just productivity hacks.
Meaning?
There's a focus on aligning what you do with who you are, your values, your purpose, honoring your inner self, contributing to others, not just ticking off tasks.
So a more holistic view of success, like living with integrity.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It adds that deeper layer to the pursuit of high performance.
Okay. And then there was this talk of becoming legendary. The review mentioned Sharma uses words like world-class a lot.
He does, which, admittedly, the reviewer noted might sound a bit lofty. Hyperbolic, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. But the takeaway was meant to be inspiring.
Right. The message being that, extraordinary isn't reserved for a chosen few. Everyone has that potential, but you have to ditch average habits.
And wasn't there a quote about change being messy?
Oh, yeah. All change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. Captures that transformation journey.
I like that. And the last big theme, something about cycles.
The twin cycles of elite performance. This one's really important. It's about balance.
Balance between what?
Between intense, focused work and deep rest and recovery. Like athletes, they don't just train hard all the time. They need recovery to rebuild.
So you can't just be on 24/7. It's unsustainable.
Exactly. Constant hustle leads to burnout. You need both cycles, push hard, then properly recover. That's peak performance, according to Sharma.
Right, working smarter, not just harder all the time. Okay, so those are the big ideas. Did the review mention practical tips for actually doing this? Like making the 5 a.m. thing happen?
Yes, definitely. Some very grounded advice there. First off, start gradually.
Makes sense. Don't just jump from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. overnight.
Right. The book suggests maybe shifting your wake-up time 15 minutes earlier every few days or week. Baby steps.
That sounds much less daunting. What else?
A big one is creating a pre-sleep ritual. If you want to wake up early, you obviously need to get to bed earlier.
And the ritual helps with that.
Yeah, winding down properly, like no screens an hour before bed, avoiding stressful stuff, maybe reading something calming, signaling to your body it's time to sleep.
Good point. Protect the sleep window.
Yeah.
Any others?
Creating a tight bubble of total focus in the morning.
What does that mean? Like lock in the door?
Pretty much. Minimizing distractions. Phone off or on airplane mode, email closed, letting family know not to interrupt. Really guarding that 20-20-20 time.
Making it sacred almost.
Sort of, yeah. And then there was the advice to surround yourself with heroes.
Like call up your idols.
Huh? Not quite. More like studying biographies, learning about people who achieved great things, immersing yourself in stories of excellence. The idea is your environment shapes you.
Okay, so using their stories as inspiration and maybe learning from their habits.
Exactly. And finally, using triggers and rewards for habit building. Standard psychology, really.
Like linking the new routine to something you enjoy.
Yeah, or setting up small rewards for sticking with it for a week, a month, reinforcing the behavior.
Okay, lots of practical stuff there too. So wrapping it all up, what was the reviewer's final verdict on the book? Positive.
Overall, yes, definitely positive. They really highlighted the core message about taking responsibility for your life, how you structure your day.
And that the 5 a.m. club idea is more of a symbol.
Yeah, a symbol of that commitment to yourself, intentionality, self-mastery. Basically, if you want an extraordinary life, you can't stick with ordinary habits. That's the gist.
But it's not strictly about the number 5 on the clock.
No, the reviewer made that clear. It's the principle that matters. Owning your morning for movement, reflection, growth. Whether that starts at 5, 6, or even 7 for someone, it's the deliberate structure.
Gotcha. And they mentioned Sharma's tone could be a bit much idealistic.
A little lofty, yeah. But the reviewer kind of landed on maybe that aspirational push is what some people need to actually believe they can change and achieve more.
Fair enough. Sometimes you need that big vision.
So that really covers the main insights from the review we looked at. You should have a good handle on the 5 a.m. Club's core ideas now.
Yeah, definitely feels clear. And like you said, the big takeaway isn't necessarily the 5 a.m., but that intentional structure for the start of your day.
Exactly. Using those early hours whenever they are for you to really invest in yourself, mind, body, spirit.
So here's something to think about. Looking at that 20-20-20 formula move, reflect, grow, which one of those feels most needed or appealing to you right now?
Interesting question.
And regardless of the time, how could you maybe bring a small piece of that owning your morning idea into your own routine starting tomorrow?